defense or from the point of view of the declarer. And I'm going to start by muting everyone. So do unmute yourselves if you wish to speak or if you have a question to ask or answer. And I hope you can all see my screen there. I'm just seeing someone sent me a message. Okay, yeah. Don't send me messages on chat unless it's something urgent, because it's much easier if you want to say something just to speak. So let's have a look at a few hands on the topic of ruffing and discarding, giving a ruff and discard, or sometimes it's known as a ruff and a sluff. And let's have a look at this hand to start with, where South has opened 1 heart, North bid 3 hearts, and you end up in 4 hearts. And they lead the King of Clubs. And if you have a look at the 2 hands together, you can see your chances of making 4 hearts are pretty dismal on this hand, because we have 1 loser in each suit. We have a spade loser, a heart loser, a diamond loser, and a club loser. And what makes this hand so bad is that you've got what's called mirror symmetry between yourself and dummy. Both hands have got exactly the same distribution, and there's no opportunity to ruff anything here in the normal course of events. So you may think you have no chance to make your contract here, but your only reasonable chance is if the opponents make a mistake. If we bring up the 4 hands, let's have a look at how it might go. Suppose they lead the King of Clubs, and you could take that, or you could leave it. If you leave it and they carry on with the Queen of Clubs, let's see what might happen next. You might start drawing trumps here, and at some point East is going to get in, and there's 1 lead here from East that will give you a chance to make your contract, and that is if East continues with a club. If I click on the GIB button, it will say that on any other lead from you, you will defeat the contract. That's what the red 1 means, by 1 trick. But if you lead a club, you're leading a suit where declarer is void both in dummy and in their own hand, and it gives declarer a chance to ruff in 1 hand while they discard from the other. So from the defense's point of view, you need to be aware of this, that if you lead a suit where dummy is void, and there's a possibility that declarer is void too, you may be giving them a chance to do something they could never otherwise do. So what declarer might do here on, if you lead a club, is maybe ruff in 1 hand, and then in dummy they can discard a loser. Either a diamond or a spade would be good here. Okay, and if you do that, now now declarer is not going to lose any diamonds. So declarer here will draw the last trump, and now will be able to ruff a diamond, which is something he couldn't otherwise do. He'll make a contract that otherwise couldn't be made. In the end, he's going to lose a spade if the opponents have hung on to the right card, but he's made his 10 tricks there. Any comments or questions on that? So that really is a word of warning to the defence, not to lead a suit where dummy is void and where declarer might be void, and where you may be giving them a chance to get a ruff and discard. Let's have a look at a slight variant on that. Sorry, it's slightly slow coming up. Yeah, let's have a look at this hand here, and this is the same hand. So if we look at it, how should East defend? Well, East will get in at some point with the Ace of Hearts, and then basically must lead something else other than the club. So, as I said, you can lead anything here. It will actually defeat the contract. You might decide to lead perhaps a trump. A trump lead here is a safe lead. It's not going to help declarer, and it's a safe card for you. Now, declarer will win that, and might play some more hearts, at some point he's going to tackle the other suits. And if he plays diamonds, if he plays 3 rounds of diamonds, East will get in here. And East again has got in now, and again is in a situation where he mustn't lead a club. It turns out that he can lead a spade, and that won't give away any extra tricks. But again, you mustn't lead a club, or Declarer will be able to ruff in one hand while they discard a spade. So lead a spade, and Declarer should have no really good chance to make the contract here, and should just be held to 9 tricks. Do interrupt me if you have any questions on this so far. Let's have a look at another one. Yeah, so here we are in a 5 spade contract. So let's have a look at this from South's point of view to start with. There's a 3 club preemptive bid. Suppose you bid 3 spades. West bids 5 clubs, and suppose North bids 5 spades. So let's have a look at this. And you can see that you've got a fantastic fit in spades, but your contract is probably in some jeopardy because you've got the ace of spades to lose, you've got a heart to lose, and you're going to lose a diamond. You've got 3 tricks there that seem unavoidable losers. However, let's see what happens. You can ruff the first one and lead a spade, start drawing trumps. But if West makes the mistake of playing another club, this gives you the chance to make your contract. You're going to ruff in one hand while you discard in the other, but you must have a little think about where you want to discard. What you want to make sure that you discard a loser, one that will prevent you losing a trick. So if they make the mistake of leading a club, if you ruff in the north hand, what are you going to discard from the south hand?
Two of hearts.
Yeah, it's got to be a heart, hasn't it? So you've got to discard the right thing, of course. Ruffing a diamond would be useless because you'd still going to lose a diamond. So sometimes what to discard takes a little bit of thought, but where to ruff and what to discard to take advantage of that, yes, you would discard a heart there. And now I hope you can see you're going to make your contract because you've only got 1 trick in diamonds you're going to lose. The rest, after that, you'll be able to cross-ruff the hand.
Would it be, Tony, would it be possible to, instead of ruffing in that hand, to throw away the 3 of diamonds and ruff in the south hand?
Exactly. You can do it. You can do it either way there. Yeah. So in other words, when they play the club, the other way to play this is if you want to ruff in your hand, you would then play. You would then play a. You would then play a diamond and ruff the club in your hand. That would be equally good there. Right. But you have to do one thing or the other. Okay, something that will give you a trick. So do think about that if the opportunity arises, and try and make sure you're really discarding the right thing. Let's have a look at another one. I think this is a slight variant on the previous one. So actually let's have a look at this from West's point of view. And the bidding here again went 3 clubs, 3 spades. You bid 5 clubs, and North bid 5 spades. And let's suppose you start off with a club. You lead the ace of clubs, and it gets ruffed right away. All right. Now Declarer plays a spade, which you win. And what are you going to play now? Well, there's a danger in playing clubs, isn't there? Because your partner started out with 7, you started out with 5, so there are no more clubs left in the north-south hand. And anything else you lead could actually help Declarer here. Having won the ace of spades, if you lead I don't know if you can see, leading away from one of these queens could easily help declarer if the layout is something like this. You can see if you lead a heart, you get it in, declarer finesse. If you lead a diamond, declarer has a chance to make the jack. And really, there's no good choice for you at this point. Whatever you play may end up helping declarer. So it's hard to know what to play there. If you do play a club, however, declarer's got to find a discard from the right hand. And they could, for example, discard a diamond and ruff in their own hand. Or if they decide to ruff in dummy, then the best thing to discard here, which means they won't lose any hearts, is to discard that heart. Okay, and now they will probably make their contract. They're going to lose one more trick, perhaps, in diamonds. They're not going to lose any hearts, or all the trumps have gone, but they are in danger of losing a diamond trick. But they should just make their 5 tricks here. So West here really had a real problem about how to defend here, and anything he played could have helped declarer there. Anyone have any comments or questions? I hope you're all still following. Here's a slight variant of this. This is an example of a hand where giving declarer a ruff and discard doesn't always help. Let's suppose it's gone again 3 clubs, 3 spades, 5 clubs, 5 spades, pass, pass. I think I would double 5 spades, wouldn't you? Because it seems like I've got 4 aces and a good chance to make to defeat 5 spades. So let's see what happens. Suppose we lead a club, and again we see that void in dummy. Okay, so declarer is able to ruff the first one, and let's have a look at the 4 hands now, and you can see that West can defeat this contract now, because they can they're going to make, although they've lost that first trick, they've got 3 tricks to take. They're going to make the ace of spades, the ace of hearts, and the ace of diamonds. They can make those 3 tricks. The partner can't make anything. So let's suppose declarer, having ruffed that, starts off with trumps, and you get him with your ace of spades. I think if I were West, I'd be very tempted just to cash my 2 aces here and be certain of defeating the contract. Take my ace of hearts and my ace of diamonds. But if you do make the mistake of playing another club, this is a situation where it doesn't really give away a trick, because although declarer can ruff in one hand while they discard from the other, it doesn't save them a trick. So they can discard a heart, for example, while they ruff in their own hand, but they're still going to lose the ace of hearts. So it's not always the case that giving away a ruff and discard will cost a trick. On this hand, it doesn't cost a trick, and you'll still be able to defeat the contract by taking your 2 aces at some point. Any comments or questions on that? So that was just an example. Yes, go ahead.
Well, I noticed that on BBO, the hands are very distributional.
Okay.
And very often when the bidding has gone up to the 5 level, you'll find that they've got a void in your suit.
Right.
So it's not always right to lead the ace. On the other hand, if they have got one of your suit, then it's very annoying if you haven't made the ace.
Yes. I mean, like on this exact hand, on this exact hand, I mean, West perhaps is a bit foolish to lead a club, because he knows his partner, having opened with a 7-card club suit, and he's got 5. He knows that's 12 cards, so he knows that declarer is void in one of the hands. There's only one missing club out, if your partner does indeed have a 7-card suit. On the other hand, if it is just 1 card, then it doesn't really matter that it gets ruffed. So I would, you know, it doesn't matter that you lead it here. But yeah, I mean, sometimes you're right. You need to think carefully about whether, you know, whether it might be ruffed if you do lead a suit. Any other comments or questions on that?
I mean, that's right, because if you could play one of the other aces.
Yeah.
And then you would see the dummy and realise there was a void.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, on this hand, I think on this particular layout, you're always going to make 3 tricks unless but yeah, if you leave the ace of hearts, for example, you'll then see, well, maybe I'll just, you can see you're not going to make any clubs then, so you might just catch your ace of diamonds and then take your ace of trump at some point. Yeah. But this was just an example that it doesn't always give away an extra trick by giving it a Ruff and Sluff. But in many situations it does, but not this one. We've got a hand here. This is actually a hand that was played before the lockdown, and just wanted to have a look at this one, how it was, because many people, let's just bring up 4 hands to start with, and we'll look at the bidding here. So North has got a 1 no trump opening hand there. East, suppose they bid 2 hearts. But South, I think, should bid 2 spades. Now, that's a sign off, basically, saying I've got at least 5 spades and I want to play in 2 spades rather than letting them play in 2 hearts. So it might go 1 no trump, 2 hearts, 2 spades. Pass, pass. But maybe East doesn't want to let them play in 2 spades. He's got a very nice hand. Suppose he bids 3 hearts. Now, South should pass here, in my opinion. South's already sort of described their hand. But North happens to have a very good spade fit. North has 4 spades here. So, reckoning that North-South have got at least 9 trump, because your partner should have 5 card suit, maybe it's right to bid 3 spades. So, let's assume you end up in a spade contract. When this hand was played, a lot of declarers made at least 3 spades and some made more. So let's see if we can figure out how it should go. And as I said, we'll look at this from the point of view of East, who has some problems on this hand. So suppose your partner leads the king of hearts, and let's have a little think about this. So it looks like that's a doubleton. So let's suppose you give an encouraging signal there. They play another heart, and suppose you win that one with your ace. That's 8 hearts gone. There's 1 heart outstanding, and that's probably with South, because declarer, because your partner led the king and then a low one, rather than the king and the queen. So what now? Well, let's suppose you play another heart. Although a heart being played will be able to be ruffed perhaps by your partner and maybe over-ruffed in dummy, North doesn't have any really strong trumps there, so maybe your partner may be able to make a trick. As it turns out, they ruff with the 8 and declarer over-ruffs with the 9. But at least you stop the queen of hearts from making a trick there. Now what? Now they lead a spade, and let's suppose you play low here, and they play another spade, which you win. Now, you have a bit of a problem here, because you can see dummy there, and you can see that anything you lead could help declare. I mean, you certainly don't want to be leading a diamond, do you? Equally, you don't want to be leading a club into the ace-queen, and you don't really want to be leading a heart either, because, you know, all the hearts are gone, and if you play another heart, declarer will be able to ruff in one hand while they discard from the other. So just see what happens if you do play a heart. Let's bring up the 4 hands. If you do play a heart, declarer will be able to ruff in one hand while they discard a loser from the other. And they could do a variety of things. One thing they might do is discard a club while they ruff with the 10 of spades. Now they're not going to lose any clubs. They can lead a club back, play a low club, and they actually could ruff your king now, and it sets up their queen. And now you can get to dummy, and you don't even need to try the diamond finesse because your queen of clubs is good, and you can actually make the rest of the trick. So when this hand was played, quite a few north-souths actually made 10 tricks on this hand, perhaps by some means like this. Good defense should actually stop Declarer making 3 spades even, and I think they could even defeat it. Let's have a look at where East could have done better, and we'll replay this same hand again, but with a different defense. So again, let's look at it from East's point of view. Your partner starts off in hearts, and just like before, you take the first 2 hearts, and your partner's spade is overruffed. And now a spade is played, and this is where I think East needs to be alert as to what's going to happen, because at some point they're going to win the ace of spades, and when they do win the ace of spades, they're going to be end played, is the term. They're going to be in the position that anything they lead could help Declarer, okay, a diamond, a club, or a heart. So what should East play here?
The five.
Yeah, you need to play the ace here so that you have a safe exit card, a card that won't help Declarer. So rather than playing low here, you must play the ace, and now you have a safe card. Your only safe card is a trump that will not give Declarer a trick. Okay, and now left to his own devices, Declarer will probably have to try the diamond finesses or the club finesse. If he tries a diamond finesse, let's suppose he plays the jack and you win the queen. What are you going to play now?
Another diamond.
Yes, a diamond. A diamond is completely safe, and you definitely don't want to be playing a club leading into the ace queen, and you don't want to be playing a heart, which again would give Declarer a chance to discard a club while they ruffed in dummy. So again, you've got to find another safe exit card, and this time, yes, it's a diamond. It's completely safe. So just play a diamond. Declarer has no choice but to win these. And at some point, he might then come back to his hand, and he's doing this so that he can lead a club. He's been trying the club finesse, but of course that fails, and now you've made 5 tricks. By the way, if you play a heart at this point, it's not a mistake. If you play a heart at this point, you can see that Declarer has no more trumps in dummy, so can only ruff in their own hand. So you're not giving Declarer the same opportunity to ruff in one hand while they discard in the other. Although they're ruffing and they're discarding a club, they're not making any more clubs. They're not getting any extra ruffs here by your lead. So whatever happens now, Declarer will just make the last 2 tricks. But we'll make 8 tricks on this hand with good defense, rather than the 10 tricks they made if East helps Declarer by leading suits to give away a ruff and a discard. Anyone have any comments on that? Any questions? As I said, when this hand was played, a lot of Declarers made 10 tricks in spades, but really good defense should hold you to 9 or even 8 tricks if you're on the ball there. Okay, so do look out for those kinds of situations. If you're East in this situation, maybe it's sort of particularly easy because you can see dummy, and you can see that you really don't want to be leading into dummy's strength at any point. So you need to try and work out in advance how you're going to avoid leading a minor suit, which you can do here when trumps are played by winning the ace and realizing a spade is your safe card. Okay. Anyway, that's it for the topic today. Is there anyone else who would like to play and doesn't have a partner yet? Would you unmute yourselves and let me know? So I've got Jotsna there. So if there's no one else, I'll play with Jotsna. Is there anyone else who'd like to play? Do speak up, or send me a message, or you can just log in and let me know. Okay. If that's it, if there's nothing else, then we'll end the meeting there, and I'll see you online at 2 o'clock. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you all very much. Jotsna, I'll send you an invitation.
Thank you.
Before.
Thank you, Tony.
Okay. Bye then.
Thank you,
Bye
Tony.
everyone. Bye.